So coming to chapter 18, surface area and volume of 3D solids. Surface area and volume of 3D solids. So we will see first the cuboid. Cuboid is shaped like this. Draw a cuboid here. These are the two opposite faces of a cuboid. Just join this. A bit rough. Yeah. So this part is the length of the cuboid, and this is the height of the cuboid. Right, and this is the breadth of the cuboid. Alright. Length, breadth, and height of the cuboid. So the volume of, we have to check out some formulas, take a look at some formulas, so maybe we will be able to solve some problems. So the volume of a cuboid is length into breadth into height. The first formula regarding volume of a cuboid is the product of length, breadth, and height of the cuboid. So length into breadth can be taken as area of the base. Also it can be written as volume of the cuboid is equal to the area of base of the cuboid into height of the cuboid. The volume of cuboid can be written as area of the base of the cuboid, that is length into breadth into the height of the cuboid. You can remember these formulas. Alright, and the total surface area of the cuboid, second formula you have to keep in mind. Total surface area of a cuboid is given as twice length into breadth, breadth into height plus breadth into height plus length into height, 2 into LB plus BH plus LH, the total surface area of a cuboid. Alright, I hope you are clear with this up till now. So I think remembering these formulas won't be much of a problem. Volume of a cuboid is length into breadth into height. Just remember this formula, volume of a cuboid is length into breadth into height, and the total surface area of a cuboid is twice of length into breadth plus breadth into height plus length into height. Alright, so now coming to cube. This was a cuboid. Now coming to cube. A cube has all the sides equal. In all the faces, all the sides of a cube are equal. Alright. A cube is a special case of a cuboid in which the edges are equal. All the edges are equal. Alright. Thus each face of a cube is in the form of a square. So now we'll take a look at few formulas regarding cube. The total surface area of a cube is denoted by the formula, that is total surface area of cuboid. What was L into B here, so it became L square plus L square plus L square. L into B plus B into H plus L into H becomes L square plus L square plus L square. Let L be the side of the cuboid, all the sides be L. Alright, L. So L into L square plus L into B becomes L square because all sides are equal. L square, B into H becomes L square as H, L into H becomes L square. So 2 into 3L square becomes 6L square. You can remember this formula by this method. Total surface area of cube can be denoted by 6L square. Alright. Now the volume of cube can be denoted by formula L into L into L, because volume of cuboid was L into B into H, all sides are L, so L into L into L equals L cube. The volume of the cube can be denoted by L cube. Alright, and one edge of the cube, that is L, equals cube root of volume. Alright, similarly reverse, one edge L becomes cube root of volume. It's very simple. You can remember this by deriving the cube can be remembered by taking the example of cuboid only, with all sides are similar. So you have to be familiar with these two formulas regarding cube. Volume of cube is L cube, that is side cube, and total surface area of cube equal to 6 into side square. So just I'll turn this page. Now coming to the length of the diagonal of a cube. Alright, I'm sorry, length of the diagonal of a cuboid. Alright, so we have a cuboid here. Just remember this formula. The length of the diagonal, that is, this is a cuboid. What becomes its diagonal? Suppose we draw a cuboid like this. Diagonal is joining this portion and this portion, the outer edge to the backward edge of this becomes the diagonal of the cuboid, this line. So the length of its diagonal becomes equal to length square plus breadth square plus height square. Just remember this formula, the root under L square plus B square plus H square. You have to remember this formula. The length of the diagonal of cuboid becomes equal to root under length square plus breadth square plus height square. This is the length, this part is the breadth, and this is the height. Alright, so now let us take a look at few examples regarding cubes and cuboids. So first example, I will take this one. The length, breadth and height of a box. The length, breadth and height of a box. Since length, breadth and height are there, obviously the box is a cuboid, because length, breadth and height are different here, so the box becomes a cuboid. So length, breadth and height of a box are respectively 12 decimeters, 4 decimeter and 3 decimeters. Alright, it is given. Find the length of the greatest rod that can be put in it. You know, when a box is there, the greatest, and if a box is there, if iron rods are put in it, then the greatest rod which can be put in it is in the form of the diagonal of the box. The greatest rod which can be put inside a cuboid shaped box is actually the diagonal of the cuboid. So diagonal of the cuboid goes by the formula root under L square plus B square plus H square. So diagonal length of the greatest rod which can be put in it equals root under 12 square plus 4 square plus 3 square. 12 12s are 144 4 4s are 16, that is 144 plus 25 root under 169, that is, I'll write it here, 13 decimeters. So the length of the greatest rod which can be put in it is 13 decimeters. That is the length of the diagram, which can be found out by root under L square plus B square plus H square. 13 decimeters. I hope you are able to understand how I solve this problem. So taking a look at another problem, so I'll show you the problem here. How many bricks, each 25 centimeter by 15 centimeter? We have to find the number of bricks each of length 25. The length of each brick is 25 centimeter, the breadth of each brick is 15 centimeters, and the height of each brick is 8 centimeters. Alright, we have to find the number of bricks of each of length 25 centimeters, 15 centimeters, and height 8 centimeters are required for a wall. The wall has length 32 meters, breadth 40 centimeters, height 3 meters. All right, so we can write 32 centimeters as 32 meters as in centimeters 3200 centimeters, 3 meters as 300 centimeters. All right, in centimeters we'll write. The wall has these dimensions. We have to find the number of how many bricks of these dimensions are required to build a wall having these dimensions. So the volume of the wall, we'll take the volume of the wall, number of, it goes by the formula, number of bricks required equals volume of wall divided by the volume of one brick. Number of bricks required for the wall is equal to the volume of the wall divided the volume of one brick. So volume of the wall becomes equals to 3200 into 40 into 300, 3200 into 40 into 300, and this becomes volume of one brick 25 15 8, 25 into 15 into 8, 8 5s are 40, 5 3s are 15, 300, 25 4s are 100. All right, 2s are 8. So 12800 number of bricks are required. That's the answer. So the number of bricks required equals volume of the total volume of the wall divided the volume by volume of each brick. That is, after solving we get 12800. I hope you are clear with this problem. So we'll see the next problem now. So coming to the next problem, the third one, we have to find the volume of wood required for making a closed box with external measurements of a closed box equals 14 centimeter into 9.5 centimeter into 6 centimeters, length, breadth, and height. All right, these are the external measurements. All right, external measurements 14, 9.5, 6 centimeters. So the external volume of the box becomes equal to 14 into 9.5 into 6 centimeter cube. All right, now it is given that the wood is 7.5 millimeter thick. The thickness of the wood is given as 7.5 millimeter. That is, the thickness of the wood is 7.5 millimeter. Now the thickness is on both sides. That is, if the box is there, I'll show you. Suppose this is the box. All right, the thickness of the wood are actually on both sides, here, whether it be here, like that. The thickness is on both sides. So 7.2 into 7.5, it becomes 2 into 7.5 millimeter thick for each length, breadth and height. So it becomes 15 by 10. 2 into 7.5 millimeter becomes 15 by 10, so equals to 1.5 centimeters. It becomes 15 millimeters. That is, 2 into 7.5 becomes 15 millimeters. So 1.5 centimeters is the overall thickness. So internal length of the box, becomes equals to 14 minus 1.5 equals 12.5 centimeters. Similarly, internal breadth of the box becomes equals to breadth was 9.5, so 9.5 minus 1.5 equals 8 centimeters, and internal height becomes equals to, height was 6, so 6 minus 1.5 equals 4.5 centimeters. So the volume, now I'll do it here, volume of wood required becomes equal to external volume minus internal volume. All right, external volume was, we found out, this 14 into 9.5 into 6, I'm sorry, 1.4 14 into 9.5 into 6, 14 into 9.5 into 6, and internal volume is 12.5 into 8 into 4.5 minus 12.5 into 8 into 4.5, which comes out 14 into 9.5 into 6 becomes 798, minus 12.5 into 8 into 4.5 becomes 450. all right, so 798 minus 450, 348 centimeters cube. So this is the volume of wood, 348 centimeter cube is required to build the box. All right, so we saw this problem. I hope you understand this problem, how we solved it. So now we'll be coming to the next part regarding, I'll show you another problem. I hope you are able to read it. A solid cube of side 12 centimeter is cut into 8 cubes of equal volume. What will be the side of the new cube? Also find the ratio between their surface areas. Alright, a solid cube of side 12 centimeter is cut into 8 cubes of equal volume. What will be the side of the new cube? Also find the ratio between their surface areas. Since the solid cube of side 12 centimeter is cut into 8 cubes, alright, let the side of the new cubes be x centimeters. Alright, a solid cube of side 12 centimeter means the volume of the cube of the original cube equals 12 into 12 into 12 centimeter cube. Now the volume of new cubes, that is the total volume of new cubes is 8 cubes. It was formed 8 into x cube. All right, so here 12, the volume of the original cube becomes equals to 8 times the new cubes formed. So here 12 into 12 into 12 equals 8x cube. So 6 into x cube equals 6 into 6 into 6, or x equals cube root of 6 into 6 into 6, that is 6 centimeters. The side of the new cube becomes equals to 6 centimeters. The new cube thus formed, their side is equal to 6 centimeters. Now we have to find find the ratio between their surface areas. So the surface area, total surface area of the original cube, that is 6 into side, that is side was 12 centimeters. So 6 into side into side, 6 into 12 into 12, that is 6l square. It was the formula for total surface area of cube is 6l square. So 6 into 12 into 12, all right, that is 6 into 144. 6 into 144 equals 864 centimeters square. That is the total surface area of the original cube. So now total surface area of new cubes, 8 new cubes, equals 8 into 6 into the side is 6 centimeters. So 6 into 6, that is equal to 206 into 6 into 6 into 6 6 equals to 200 and I'm sorry, not 8 times, because we have to find the ratio between their surface areas, that is the surface area of the original cube divided by the surface area of one new cube, not 8 here. So the surface area of new cube equals 6 into L square, that is 6 into 6 into 6 equals 216 centimeters square. Now the ratio becomes equal to 864, the original cube, divided by 216, that is 216 4 by 1, that is 4:1. I hope you got this problem. It's very easy. We can find by the volume formula. Volume of original cube equals 8 times the volume of the new cubes formed. We can find the side of the new cube, that is 6 centimeter, and the total surface area of one cube, the previous cube, that is the bigger original cube, equals 6l square, that is 6 into 12 into 12, 864 came out, and the total surface area of one new cube formed equals 6 times L square, that is the side becomes 6. So 6 into 6 into 6, 216. So the ratio of their total surface area equals total surface area of the original cube divided by the total surface area of the new cube formed equals 864 divided by 216, 4:1, which came out the answer, the ratio between their total surface areas. I hope you are clear with this problem. Now we'll take a look at another portion of this chapter. So now we'll take this case, see the another portion of this chapter, that is uniform cross section of a solid. All right, uniform cross section of a solid. Of course it's for a solid only. So the cross section of a solid means, what does cross section of a solid means? The cross section of a solid means any cut through the solid which is perpendicular to its length and height. So see, this is the length of the solid. X and Y are cut perpendicular. Any cut through the solid which is perpendicular to its length and height is known as uniform cross section of a solid. We'll see it later. If this is same in shape and size for throughout the solid, if this cut which is made in the solid is same in shape and height throughout the solid, then that body that solid body is said to have a uniform cross section. All right. I hope you will be more clear with this diagram which I have drawn. Suppose this is a cylinder. I'm sorry, it is a bit distorted, but take it as a uniform cylinder only. This cylinder. This is the end face of the cylinder. X and Y are cut perpendicular to the length of the cylinder. This is the length of the cylinder, total length of the cylinder. All right, from here till here, this is the length of the cylinder, and X and Y are cut perpendicular to the length. So the end face of the cylinder will look like this. All right, I have shaded the end face. If we cut X here, also the cut portion will look like this, and if we cut Y here, also the cut portion will look like this. The end face X and Y are all similar. In this case, this solid, that is a cylindrical solid, is said to have a uniform cross section. All right, I hope you are clear with this. Now we'll see the volume of a uniform cross section. How can we take the volume of a uniform cross section? Volume of a uniform cross section can be taken as the area of cross section, that is the area of this portion. That is, what is the area? This is a circular portion. Area becomes pi into radius square, area of cross section into the length of the solid, pi r square L. So the volume of cross section we have seen, this is for a cylinder only, but this is different for a cuboid, a cube, or any other shape, solid. So this case is for a cylindrical portion only. Please don't take this formula for any type of solid. So you have to remember this formula for this general formula, that is the volume of a solid which has a uniform cross section. We have to take the volume of a solid which has a uniform cross section by the formula area of the cross section into the length of the solid. All right, we can find the volume of the solid which has a uniform cross section by taking the area of the cross section multiplied by the length of the solid. In that way, we can derive the volume of a solid having an uniform cross section. I hope you are clear with this formula. Just take a look once more. Volume of a solid having an uniform cross section. Mind you, it is not the volume of the uniform cross section, it is the volume of a solid having a uniform cross section, which can be derived by the formula area of that cross section. Whether it is a circle, whether it is a rectangle, whatever it is, you take the area of the cross section multiplied by the length of the solid. I hope you are clear with this formula. We'll take a look at one example and wind up this chapter. So we'll take a look at this problem regarding volume of, we have to find the volume of this solid. All right, this is the solid, we have to find the volume of this solid. So how do we do this? You can see this solid has, we know the volume of a solid, this has a uniform cross section, this solid has a uniform cross section. So how can we find the area of the cross section, uniform cross section? We know the length of the solid is 9 centimeter. We can take the length as 9 centimeter. We have to find the area of the cross section for this solid, so that we put in this formula volume of the solid of uniform cross section equals area of cross section into length. So cross area, this solid, you can see if we join this solid is divided into two rectangles. You can see from this figure, this solid is divided into two rectangles actually. This rectangle, bigger rectangle, this is the smaller rectangle. All right, the cross area is divided into two rectangles. So what is the area of this rectangle? This is 8 into 3. So the area of the first rectangle is 8 into length into breadth. All right, 8 into 3, 8 into 3, 24 centimeters square. Length into breadth, 8 into 3, 24 centimeters square. Now this, you can see this is 8 and this is 6, so this becomes 2. 8 minus 6, 2 centimeters. And this is 7, this whole is 7, and this is 3, so this becomes 7 minus 3, 4 centimeters. So this smaller rectangle is 4 into 2. Area of second rectangle is becomes equal to, length is 4 centimeter and the breadth is 2 centimeter. All right, 4 into 2, 8 centimeters square. So the area of the two rectangles total cross area becomes equals to, cross section area becomes equal to 24 plus 8, 32 centimeters square. Now we know the volume of a solid of uniform cross section, area of cross section into length, area of cross section into length. So area, total cross area of cross section becomes 32. So the volume equals 32 into length is 9. So the volume of this becomes 288 centimeters cube. This is the answer. 288 centimeter cube is the volume. We just put it in the formula, area of cross section into length. Length is 9 for the this particular solid. So 32 into 9, 288 centimeter cube. So with this problem we wind up this chapter. Thank you for your cooperation.